always talk about the weather because it's mostly boring. But was there a time where your weather looked like this? Or like that? It looks weird, right? Do you remember the last time this happened? Chances are, it wasn't long ago. Take my holiday. I went back to Hong Kong last summer. For half the trip, there was a black rain warning, the strongest rain warning possible. The next week, it was gone, replaced by a sauna like heat. After I left, Hong Kong had its rainiest August, beating its record for the third time in a row. Its hottest September and weathered Typhoon Magasa. These are not records we want to be beating. You've probably experienced unusual weather too, and each spell of it could be passed off as just weird. But it's becoming a global pattern. So many extreme events within a few years aren't a coincidence. It's an indicator of climate change. At COP27, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said, "We are on a highway to climate hell, with our foot still on the accelerator." And yet, despite such statements, it seems like nothing happens. It's uncertain if we'll reach net zero carbon or our 1.5-degree climate goal. We let it get worse. So, who cares about climate change? No, really. Raise your hands if you do. Lots of hands going up. Now, raise your hands if you are doing anything about climate change. Not as many. So, why aren't we acting? Well, there are a few reasons. Think of when you tried to achieve a long-term goal and failed. Why did you fail? Well, one reason is time. Our day is filled. In the UK, 65% of your day is spent on work or school, sleep, and eating. But what about the remaining hours? Maybe you were distracted. Our attention is demanded for by so many things, and we end up wasting our time. I can't be the only one who had missing homework because of Reels and Netflix. This concept can be applied to climate change too. We don't spend time thinking about the important things because we focus on the trivial, and we can't reflect on how climate change affects us in such a fast-paced world. But maybe that's not you. Maybe you do have time and a good focus, especially since you made time for this talk. What else about our lives could it be? Due to increasing living standards, there's been increases of individualism, which does allow for free thinking, but can spiral into extremes where people think, I don't care about you. I have what I need. It's a deadly train of thought for a problem like climate change, which warrants concern from all of us. It's even easier for us here in the UK and countries like ours. For most people, extreme weather caused by climate change is just an inconvenience. It is lower income countries facing the worst climate change despite having less than 20% of global emissions. And many people look away. Just recently, the Mozambique floods, which displaced nearly 500,000 people, barely received any news coverage. If climate change is a distant problem, then it feels like we don't have to care about it. But maybe there's another reason for inaction. Most of us feel powerless to fix the crisis. Having to be the ones to solve climate change is overwhelming. This feeling is made worse by the fact that there are many big companies continuing unsustainable methods of production, revolving around fossil fuels. It creates long-lasting waste to make a profit. To them, it's inconvenient to turn green and it's easier to greenwash anyways. These companies are so big, they don't feel threatened to change. And to put it into perspective, 57 producers generated 80% of CO2 emissions in the last 7 years. When organizations that have so much control and aren't even acting, then what's the point of one person doing anything? But I've got some messages of hope. Although it seems grim, things are happening. The danger is that without being informed, we miss both sides, the bad and good, and there is a good side. From people, from organizations, we are all more aware of climate change and are slowly but steadily acting. Just as the world has been successful in tackling environmental issues before, like banning CFCs to protect the ozone layer. Did you know that for every dollar invested in climate change, invested in fossil fuels, 2 go into green energy? Or that in Hong Kong, 17 different organizations came together to petition for effective emission goals? Or that grassroots organizations pull hundreds of thousands to mobilize against climate change? This is all great news. It shows we aren't powerless. The best part? You can get involved. Everything you do, no matter how small, can contribute, whether it's recycling, using public transport, or even turning off the lights. It all helps. Then, what else should you be doing? If you're too busy, then try and use your time effectively. Make time for climate change. Paying attention is one of the easiest first steps you can take. Making yourself informed on climate-related events as well as organizations and activities you can take part in is a great way to act. Information is power. Being informed means you can make better decisions. It also lets you know who to support, so that in turn they recognize that support and continue doing good. People and organizations who can and want to make structural changes need to be shown support. If no one buys, say, electric cars, then why would companies sell them or governments subsidize them? But it's crucial to make sure that these steps are not the only ones we take. They can only do so much. Social structures are what we need to change the most. We need to demand change to climate policies and regulations through spreading awareness and contacting representatives where we can. And if you feel selfish, what you can do is to have empathy instead. It is strange, but being empathetic is an effective thing you can do. Caring for others helps us understand their issues, how for some people climate change is life or death. Empathy allows us to respond accordingly. If people on the other side of Earth are better off, then we are too. After all, we all share the same planet. So, what's my point? Well, it's not to fearmonger, but to raise hope. It's to help you reflect on why, if you raised your hand when I asked if you cared about climate change, but lowered it when I asked about action, this may be. Whatever it is, out of the reasons I mentioned, it is not too late to act against climate change, as long as it is soon. Some actions I mentioned are easier to take than others, and it's okay to start with those, because doing something is better than doing nothing. You matter. You can make a difference. You can make a better world. And even if that difference is minuscule, when we spread the word and come together, our actions become immensely more powerful. Let us not forget where the strength of humans comes from. It's the ability to be something way bigger than ourselves. Thank you for listening.